What if wealth wasn't something you chased, but something you tuned into? Quantum abundance reveals the ancient physics of prosperity, where money is a vibration you can master. Step into this hidden realm of boundless potential and claim the infinite abundance that has always been yours. Quantum abundance. Introduction. Woven within the fabric of existence is a truth so powerful, so life-altering, that those who comprehend it find themselves stepping through golden gateways of opportunity. This truth, as ancient as the stars, murmurs of a reality where abundance flows as effortlessly as breathing, where prosperity emerges from an everlasting source. You now stand at the cusp of an understanding that will permanently transform your relationship with wealth. The physical world you see, with its tangible forms and defined limits, is merely the outer crust of a boundless ocean of limitless potential. Money in its purest form is not the paper in your wallet or the digits in your account. It is a frequency, a vibration within the quantum field of all possibility. This knowledge has been guarded through ages, passed down through initiates who understood that wealth is not a reward to be earned, but a force to be awakened. Like a master musician who knows that music exists in the silence before the first note is played, those who have mastered abundance understand that wealth exists in the field of pure potential before it materializes in the physical world. You are about to step into a sacred chamber where the veils between the visible and invisible realms grow thin. Here, in this space of revelation, you will discover how to attune your being to the frequency of prosperity. This is not mere metaphor. It is the physics of manifestation, the science of abundance that quantum mechanics is only beginning to glimpse. As you absorb these teachings, you will recognize that within you lies a power that has always been present, waiting to be awakened. This power, this ability to resonate with and draw forth abundance, is your birthright. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, designed you as a creator, a channel through which prosperity can flow freely and abundantly. The ancient ones knew this truth. They understood that wealth was not a limited resource to be hoarded, but an infinite energy to be channeled. Now this wisdom returns to light, ready to be claimed by those whose hearts are prepared to receive it. Part 1, The Call to Abundance. Chapter 1, The Frequency of Gold. In the mountains of an ancient land lived a wanderer named Kai, who spent his days exploring forgotten paths and hidden valleys. One evening, as shadows lengthened across the land, he discovered the entrance to a cavern, its mouth barely visible beneath twisted vines. Following an inexplicable pull, Kai ventured inside. At first, the darkness seemed absolute, and Kai's heart raced with uncertainty. Yet as he stood in stillness, allowing his eyes to adjust, something remarkable occurred. The walls began to emit a soft, golden luminescence. What he had initially perceived as ordinary stone walls transformed before his eyes, revealing veins of pure gold that pulsed with living light. The treasure had always been there, waiting not to be found, but to be perceived. This truth echoes through the ages. Abundance surrounds you in every moment, existing in an energetic state before manifesting in physical form. Like Kai in the cavern, you need only shift your perception to witness the wealth that has always been present in your life. The universe operates on precise frequencies, each vibration carrying its own signature. Money, in its purest form, resonates at a specific frequency within the quantum field. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs act as transmitters, broadcasting signals that either align with or repel this frequency of abundance. When you understand this principle, you realize that financial success is not about striving or struggling. but about attunement. Just as a radio must be precisely tuned to receive a clear signal, your energy field must be calibrated to the frequency of prosperity. Consider the tale of Ming, the fisherman who lived by the jade waters of an eastern sea. Day after day, he cast his nets into the waters, returning with meager catches that barely sustained his family. One morning, while meditating by the shore, Ming noticed how the waves moved in perfect harmony with the wind. In that moment of clarity, he understood something profound about timing and alignment. The next day, instead of rushing to cast his nets, Ming sat quietly, observing the patterns of the sea. When he felt an inexplicable resonance between his heart and the ocean's rhythm, he cast his net. The resulting catch was so abundant that his boat nearly capsized under its weight. Ming had discovered that success comes not from constant action, but from perfect alignment. To integrate this wisdom into your life, practice this ancient technique of energetic attunement. Sit in a quiet space and envision yourself as a crystal tuning fork. Feel the base of the fork rooted in the earth while its tines reach toward the heavens. As you breathe deeply, imagine yourself beginning to vibrate, producing a pure golden tone that matches the frequency of abundance. Allow yourself to experience the emotions of security, gratitude, and joy that accompany true prosperity. Hold this vibration for several minutes, knowing that as you align with the frequency of wealth, you become a natural attractor for financial abundance. Chapter 2: The Compass of Infinite Wealth. In the mists of time there lived a village nestled among rolling hills, where life flowed in predictable patterns. One misty morning, a mysterious figure appeared at the village square, wrapped in a cloak that seemed woven from starlight. In his weathered hands he held an unusual compass, its face gleaming with an inner light. "This compass," he explained to the gathered villagers, "points not to the magnetic north, but to true wealth." The villagers exchanged skeptical glances, for they had never heard of such an instrument. The stranger handed the compass to Maya, a young weaver known for her curiosity. As Maya held the compass, its needle spun and settled, pointing toward her grandmother's garden, a place she had passed countless times. Following its direction, she discovered beneath the morning glory vines a collection of ancient seeds which would later grow into the most bountiful crops the village had ever seen. One by one, the villagers borrowed the compass. The blacksmith followed it to a hidden stream where gold dust sparkled in the sand. The potter found a deposit of rare clay that would make his wares sought after throughout the land. Each person discovered that wealth existed in places they had overlooked, in forms they had never imagined. Like this mystical compass, your beliefs guide you toward or away from abundance. Every thought about money, success, and worth creates an invisible force that directs your path. These beliefs, often inherited or absorbed without conscious awareness, become the compass that determines your financial destiny. Consider the tale of Shen, a young apprentice to an elderly sage. For months, Shen struggled to understand his master's teachings about prosperity, until one day, the sage taught him to ask different questions. Instead of, "Why am I always struggling?" Shen learned to ask, "What opportunities am I not seeing?" Rather than wondering, "Why do others succeed while I fail?" He began to inquire, "What wisdom lies in each experience?" As Shen mastered the art of asking empowering questions, the answers he sought began appearing everywhere. In the flight patterns of birds, in the growth of bamboo, in the flow of the river. The knowledge had always surrounded him. He had simply needed to align his inner compass to perceive it. For your practice of transformation, take a quiet moment with your journal. Write down one limiting belief you hold about money. Perhaps money is hard to come by, or wealth is only for the fortunate. Now imagine this belief as a compass needle pointing toward scarcity. Through deep reflection, craft a new belief that points toward abundance. Let this new belief become your true north, guiding you toward the prosperity that awaits your discovery. Chapter 3. Awaken the Abundance Mind. In the heart of an arid valley lived Ibrahim, a gardener whose weathered hands held a single seed. While others scoffed at his choice to plant in parched earth, Ibrahim tended to his seed with unwavering devotion. Each morning he would water the dusty ground, speaking words of life and growth into the seemingly barren soil. Days turned to weeks, yet Ibrahim's faith never wavered. "Beneath this surface," he would say, "miracles are unfolding." When travelers passed by, they saw only cracked earth, but Ibrahim saw verdant gardens in his mind's eye. He continued his daily ritual of watering, believing, and nurturing what could not yet be seen. Then one morning, as dawn painted the sky in gentle hues, a tiny green shoot emerged. Within days, this single sprout multiplied, spreading across the valley floor. Soon, where there had once been only dust, a magnificent garden flourished, drawing visitors from distant lands to witness its splendor. Your mind is like this garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant within it. The abundance mind is not merely a concept. It is a living force that transforms the barren soil of limitation into fertile ground for prosperity. Just as Ibrahim watered his seed with certainty, you must nurture your prosperity consciousness with absolute conviction. Every thought you hold about wealth plants itself in the soil of your consciousness. These thoughts, whether of lack or abundance, take root and grow into your material reality. The law of mental equivalence states that your outer world must reflect your inner garden. There once lived a sage named Master Chen who taught this wisdom to his most eager student. "Bring me water from the stream," he instructed. When the student returned with an empty vessel, Master Chen asked, "Why is your container empty?" "Master," replied the student, "I feared the water might be impure." "Ah," said Master Chen, "your doubt has left you thirsty. The mind that doubts will always thirst, while the mind that trusts drinks deeply from life's abundance." For your practice of transformation, create your daily mental garden ritual. Find a quiet space as the sun rises. Close your eyes and imagine a seed of prosperity in your hands. Plant this seed thought in the fertile soil of your mind. I am one with infinite abundance. Water it with your unwavering faith. Feel the warmth of gratitude nurturing its growth. Visualize its roots spreading deep into your consciousness. Perform this ritual daily, knowing that beneath the surface your garden of prosperity is already blooming. Chapter 4. Shattering the Illusion of Scarcity. In the vast expanse of the Sahara wandered Malik, a man whose days were spent chasing shimmering pools of water that vanished upon approach. Each morning he would spot crystal-clear oases in the distance, only to find empty sand when he reached them. His throat parched and his spirit weary, Malik pressed on, driven by the desperate need to quench his thirst. As the sun reached its zenith one scorching afternoon, he encountered an enigmatic figure wrapped in desert robes. "Why do you chase what isn't there?" the guide asked. "The water, I see it everywhere, yet it eludes me," Malik replied. The guide's eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom. "You are the one creating the mirages," he revealed. "Your mind, fixated on lack, paints these false waters across the sand." Within these words lies a truth that echoes through the ages. Scarcity is but an illusion cast by your own perception. The mirages of lack that dance before your eyes are projections of inner beliefs. not reflections of universal truth. In the marketplace of Damascus lived Hassan, a merchant whose coffers overflowed with golden coins. Each night he would count his wealth, gripped by the fear that it might vanish. He hoarded every piece, turning away those in need, convinced that giving meant losing. As seasons passed, Hassan noticed his coins growing dull, their gleam fading day by day. One morning he reached for his treasure only to find it had crumbled to dust. His fear of scarcity had transformed abundance into nothingness. The universe operates in perfect abundance. Like air that fills every space, wealth flows wherever it finds openness. Yet your mind may create mirages of limitation, false boundaries that appear real but dissolve when examined with truth. Now pause and look within. Identify one mirage of lack that appears real in your life. Perhaps it's the belief that there's never enough or wealth is limited. Hold this thought gently in your awareness and ask yourself, is this real or is this imagined? Let the question sink deeply into your consciousness. Feel how the mirage begins to waver, its edges blurring as truth penetrates the illusion. This sacred inquiry reveals the power of your perception. When you recognize that scarcity is a creation of mind rather than a universal truth, the mirages dissolve, unveiling the endless abundance that has always surrounded you. Chapter 5. The Invisible Stream of Prosperity. In ancient times, a wise sage shared the tale of the great river that flowed beneath the earth's surface, unseen by mortal eyes. Though hidden from view, this mystical river sustained every tree, plant, and flower in the vast forest above. The trees, reaching their roots deep into the soil, drew life from this invisible source, growing tall and strong despite never glimpsing the waters that nourished them. You too live above such a river, an eternal stream of abundance that flows silently beneath the surface of your daily existence. This unseen current carries prosperity, opportunity, and wealth to every corner of your life, whether you perceive it or not. Like the trees of the ancient forest, you are constantly nourished by this flow, even in moments when you feel disconnected from its source. The stream of prosperity moves in mysterious ways, often appearing as seemingly random encounters, unexpected opportunities, or gentle nudges from the universe. It manifests in the stranger who mentions a business opportunity, the book that falls from a shelf containing exactly the wisdom you seek, or the chance meeting that opens new doors. In the mountains of Tibet, there lived a traveler named Ming who had lost his way. Parched and weary, he heard the distant song of a nightingale. Though logic urged him to follow the well-worn path, something in the bird's melody called to his spirit. Following this ethereal sound, Ming discovered a hidden spring of pure water, flowing abundantly from the mountainside. The bird's song had led him not just to water, but to an ancient trading route where merchants would soon pass, changing his fortune forever. Like Ming, you are surrounded by signs pointing to the stream of abundance. These signs speak in whispers, through intuitive hunches, synchronicities, and moments of unexpected clarity. The universe constantly broadcasts the frequency of prosperity, waiting for you to tune in and follow its melody. Now, take your journal and reflect upon the past week of your life. Look beneath the surface of ordinary events and identify 3 hidden streams of prosperity you may have overlooked. Perhaps it was a casual conversation that held the seeds of opportunity, a seemingly insignificant connection that could blossom into something greater, or a moment of inspiration that pointed toward unexplored possibilities. Write these down, allowing yourself to recognize how the invisible current of abundance has been flowing through your life all along. Chapter 6. The Law Beneath the Law. In the ancient city of Alexandria, within the depths of its legendary library, a young scholar named Theron discovered a mysterious scroll wrapped in golden thread. Unlike the other texts that spoke of wealth and prosperity directly, this scroll revealed something far more fundamental: the invisible law that governed all manifestation. The scroll spoke of vibration as the foundation of all reality, the hidden force beneath every visible outcome. As Theron studied its wisdom, he realized that what appeared to be separate laws were merely branches of one great truth: the law of vibration, from which all other laws, including the law of attraction, emerged. You stand now where Theron once stood, at the threshold of understanding that transforms mere knowledge into power. The law of vibration reveals that everything in existence, every thought, every emotion, every particle of matter, resonates at a specific frequency. Wealth, in its purest form, vibrates at its own unique frequency, calling to those who match its resonance. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the frequency of abundance, you become a living magnet for prosperity. Like a tuning fork that causes another to sing in harmony, your vibration draws forth corresponding circumstances and opportunities. In a distant kingdom lived an artist named Ibrahim, who struggled to sell his paintings despite their beauty. One day, while meditating in his garden, he noticed how different emotions created different patterns in his body. Joy felt light and expansive, while worry felt heavy and constrained. Understanding this truth, Ibrahim began painting only when he felt the lightness of joy and gratitude flowing through him. His brush strokes, now carrying this elevated vibration, created works that seemed to glow with an inner light. Collectors soon sought his paintings, offering fortunes for pieces that carried this inexplicable resonance. To harness this wisdom in your own life, create your personal wealth frequency list. Take a quiet moment to connect with the feeling of abundance. Write down the emotions that align with prosperity. Perhaps it's confidence, joy, gratitude, or excitement. Each morning, before engaging with the world, attune yourself to these feelings. Let them flow through your being, setting the vibrational tone for your day. Remember, you're not merely thinking about wealth, you're becoming the frequency of wealth itself. Chapter 7, The Quantum Seal of Wealth. In the mist-shrouded peaks of an ancient mountain range, a treasure chest rested upon a stone altar. Unlike ordinary chests bound by metal locks, this one bore a mystical sigil that seemed to pulse with living energy. Many sought to claim its contents, yet the chest remained steadfastly sealed to all who approached. Through the centuries, tales spread of this enigmatic chest and its otherworldly guardian, the quantum seal. Those who attempted to force it open found their efforts futile, while others who tried to deceive their way to its riches left empty-handed. The chest, you see, responded not to force or cunning, but to something far more subtle, the precise vibration of one's being. You must understand that wealth operates by this same principle. It is not merely a physical substance to be gathered, but an energetic reality that responds to your innermost frequency. Like the chest with its mystical seal, abundance opens itself only to those who resonate with its true nature. In the kingdom of Avalon, there lived a knight named Roland, who had spent years searching for his fortune. Despite his valor in battle and noble heart, prosperity seemed to elude him. One night, in a dream, an ancient sage appeared and whispered what he called the true name of the seal, a phrase that held no meaning in any known language, but carried the exact frequency of abundance. Upon awakening, Roland understood that the phrase was not meant to be understood, but to be felt. As he repeated it each morning, allowing its vibration to permeate his being, remarkable changes began to unfold. Opportunities appeared as if by magic, and doors that had long been closed suddenly opened wide. The true name of the seal was not the words themselves, but the resonance they created within him. A perfect match to the frequency of wealth itself. Now you are invited to create your own quantum seal mantra. Find a quiet space where you can attune to the energy of abundance. Let words arise that feel aligned with prosperity, even if they make no logical sense. Your mantra might be as simple as, "I am infinite abundance," or as unique as a combination of sounds that resonate with wealth in your being. Speak this mantra daily, not merely as words, but as a key that aligns your energy with the frequency of abundance. Let it become the seal that locks your wealth vibration in place, creating an unshakable foundation for prosperity to flow. Chapter 8. Opening the Gateway of Receiving. In a distant realm, there lived a traveler named Malik, who journeyed far and wide in search of the legendary gates of fortune. After years of wandering, he finally stood before an immense door adorned with ancient symbols of abundance. Day after day he knocked upon its surface, his fists growing weary from endless petitioning. As twilight descended on the 100th day, a voice like wind through crystal chimes whispered, "Stop knocking and open it from within." Confused, Malik pressed his ear against the door, hoping to hear more. Yet the voice simply repeated, "The door opens not from without, but from within." This truth echoes through the chambers of your own experience. The gates of abundance do not yield to force or persistence alone. They respond to an internal opening, a shift in consciousness that allows wealth to flow naturally into your life. When you stand before the door of prosperity, knocking with determination and effort, pause to recognize that you already possess the key. It lies within your capacity to receive, to trust, and to know your worthiness. In a village nestled among rolling hills, there lived a young girl named Sarah. During a summer drought, when the first drops of rain finally fell, she ran outside with outstretched arms. Yet no matter how hard the rain fell, her cupped hands remained dry. A wise woman watching nearby gently approached and said, "Little one, look at your hands." Sarah looked down to discover her fingers were tightly clenched, unconsciously gripping invisible treasures of the past. As she slowly uncurled her fingers, rain filled her open palms, bringing life-giving water to her parched skin. Now find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Imagine yourself standing in a garden of infinite abundance. Feel the warmth of golden light surrounding you. Bring your awareness to your hands and notice if they are open or closed to receiving. Slowly, deliberately, open your palms upward. Feel the subtle energy tingling in your hands as you allow yourself to receive. Stay with this sensation, knowing that the universe's abundance flows freely when you create space to receive it. Practice this meditation daily, allowing yourself to become a vessel for prosperity's natural flow. Chapter 9. The Story of Gold. In a kingdom veiled by time, there lived a ruler named King Aldrich who possessed vast lands but yearned for more. Tales reached his ears of an ancient mine said to hold the purest gold ever discovered. Despite his overflowing treasury, the king became consumed by the thought of this legendary wealth. You see, like many who walk the path of material pursuit, King Aldrich believed that true abundance lay somewhere beyond his reach. He assembled his finest miners and warriors, leading them on an expedition across treacherous mountains and through dense forests. For 40 days and nights they searched every cave and crevice. The king's obsession grew stronger with each passing day. His crown, once worn proudly, now felt heavy upon his troubled brow. Sleep escaped him as visions of golden riches danced in his mind. On the 41st day, exhausted and desperate, the king encountered an old hermit living in a simple mountain dwelling. The hermit's eyes sparkled with an inner light as he observed the king's weary countenance. "What you seek," the hermit said, "already exists within your kingdom." The king dismissed these words, certain that no such gold existed in his realm. Yet as his expedition continued to yield nothing, the hermit's words began to echo in his thoughts. Upon returning to his kingdom, the king noticed something extraordinary. The afternoon sun caught the wheat fields, transforming them into waves of flowing gold. He saw the golden light in his people's smiles, the richness in their laughter, the wealth of wisdom in their stories. The golden warmth of community and connection had been there all along, sustaining his kingdom far more than any metal ever could. In that moment of recognition, something awakened within the king himself, an inner radiance that had always been present but forgotten in his external quest. He realized that the truly precious gold was not hidden in distant mines but in the wealth of his own being. Now close your eyes and journey within. Reflect upon the times you have searched outside yourself for wealth, believing it lay in some distant place or future achievement. Notice how this seeking has shaped your relationship with abundance. Take a moment to recognize your inner gold, those qualities, gifts, and resources that already exist within you. Perhaps it's your creativity, your wisdom, your capacity to connect with others, or your ability to generate innovative solutions. Write down these inner treasures you have overlooked while searching elsewhere for wealth. Feel the shift as you acknowledge that the true source of abundance resides within your own being, waiting to be recognized and expressed in the world. Chapter 10. Planting Seeds of Abundance. In a valley between ancient mountains lived a farmer named Ibrahim who understood the deepest secrets of cultivation. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amber, he would walk his fields with reverence, knowing that beneath the soil, miracles were taking shape. You carry within you the same power as Ibrahim, the ability to plant seeds of intention in the fertile soil of consciousness. Just as he knew that each seed contained the blueprint of its full expression, your thoughts hold the pattern of your future prosperity. Watch how Ibrahim approaches his field. He does not dig up the seeds each day to check their progress. He does not doubt the natural process of growth. Instead, he tends to the soil, ensures proper nourishment, and maintains unwavering faith in the harvest to come. The universal law of growth applies equally to wealth consciousness. Each thought you plant in the soil of your mind will, with proper nurturing, grow into material expression. But like Ibrahim, you must master the art of patient cultivation. See how he prepares the soil before planting? This represents the preparation of your consciousness. You must first loosen the hardened earth of old beliefs, remove the stones of doubt, and enrich the soil with gratitude and expectation. Ibrahim teaches us that wealth, like a harvest, follows natural cycles. There is a time for planting, a time for nurturing, and a time for reaping. Many fail to manifest abundance because they expect immediate results, not understanding that thoughts, like seeds, require time to take root and flourish. In the quiet moments before dawn, Ibrahim whispers blessings over his fields. These are his affirmations, powerful statements of truth that nurture his crops. Your wealth consciousness requires the same devoted attention. Now find a quiet space where you can plant your own seed of prosperity. Take a piece of paper and write an affirmation that embodies your deepest truth about abundance. This is not merely a wish or hope. It is a declaration of what is already growing in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Let your affirmation be clear and powerful, stated in the present tense. Feel the truth of these words as you write them, knowing they contain within them the full harvest of your prosperity. Place this paper somewhere sacred and, like Ibrahim, tend to this seed daily with your unwavering faith and attention. Remember, the seed you plant today contains tomorrow's abundance. Nurture it with patience, water it with gratitude, and trust in the natural law of growth. Your harvest is assured. Part 2. Mastery of Wealth Consciousness. Chapter 11. The Secret Grid of Infinite Wealth. In the archives of an ancient library there lived a cartographer named Thaddeus, who spent his days crafting maps of distant lands. One evening, as shadows danced across his parchments, he discovered an unusual scroll. Unlike traditional maps marked with mountains and seas, this one contained only an intricate web of invisible lines, visible solely when held at precise angles in the light. You now stand at the threshold of understanding this same hidden network that Thaddeus uncovered. Like him, you are about to perceive the invisible architecture of abundance that surrounds you at this very moment. As Thaddeus followed these ethereal lines across landscapes, he noticed something extraordinary. Wherever these lines intersected, treasure lay buried beneath the earth. What appeared as empty space to others revealed itself as a blueprint of wealth to his trained eye. The quantum grid exists in much the same way around you now. It pulses with currents of opportunity, channels of resources, and streams of abundance that most never perceive. Yet once you attune your awareness to this grid, you begin to notice how wealth flows along these invisible pathways. In a distant valley lived Marcus, a humble musician who discovered that certain notes resonated with this universal grid. As he adjusted his lyre's strings to match these cosmic frequencies, his music began to draw people from far and wide. Wealth flowed to him naturally, as if his melodies had tapped into the very current of abundance itself. Your life intersects with countless grid lines of prosperity right now. Like Marcus tuning his instrument, you must align your energy with these frequencies of abundance. The wealth you seek already exists within this quantum network. Your task is simply to attune yourself to its presence. To begin working with your personal quantum wealth grid, find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and visualize a luminous web of golden lines surrounding you in all directions. These lines represent the pathways of abundance already present in your life. Now, with your inner vision, identify 3 points where these lines intersect. At each intersection, you will discover a source of wealth you have overlooked. Perhaps it's an untapped skill, a forgotten connection, or an opportunity that has been waiting in plain sight. Let each revelation emerge naturally as you attune to the grid's wisdom. Hold these 3 discoveries in your awareness, acknowledging how they have always been present, simply waiting for you to perceive them. Like Thaddeus with his mysterious map, you now possess the ability to see the invisible pathways of prosperity that surround you. Chapter 12. The Mirror of Wealth. In the heart of an ancient city, there lived a traveler named Elias who wandered through life carrying a peculiar mirror. Each morning he would gaze into its surface, yet all he could see was a swirling mist that obscured his reflection. No matter how he tilted or turned the mirror, his image remained shrouded in fog. You, like Elias, may find yourself standing before the mirror of wealth, unable to clearly perceive your true reflection. The haze that clouds your vision is not of the mirror's making, but springs from the mists of doubt within your own mind. One day, Elias encountered a sage dwelling in a temple of golden light. Without speaking a word, the sage handed him a silk cloth woven with threads of pure intention. As Elias wiped the mirror surface, the fog dissolved, revealing not the humble traveler he believed himself to be, but a figure adorned in royal robes, crowned with dignity and grace. The world around you serves as this same mirror, reflecting back the wealth consciousness you hold within. Every circumstance you encounter, every financial situation you experience, mirrors your deepest beliefs about abundance. When you perceive lack in your external world, it signals the need to polish the mirror of your inner awareness. In a distant workshop, there lived a sculptor named Karim, who stood before an imposing block of marble. Others saw only rough stone, but Karim's eyes perceived the masterpiece waiting to emerge. With each careful strike of his chisel, he removed what did not belong, gradually unveiling the perfection that existed within from the beginning. Your relationship with wealth follows this same principle of unveiling rather than creating. The abundance you seek does not need to be constructed. It must simply be revealed by removing the beliefs that obscure it. To begin cleaning your mirror of wealth, settle into a space of quiet reflection. Take the cloth of awareness and gently wipe away the fog of limiting beliefs. Write down 3 self-concepts that require polishing. Now close your eyes and see yourself standing before a crystal-clear mirror. Watch as your reflection reveals your highest potential, surrounded by prosperity, emanating success, and radiating abundance. Let this image sink deeply into your consciousness, becoming the new standard against which you measure your reality. Chapter 13. Tuning the Symphony of Fortune. In the grand concert hall of life, an orchestra gathered, their instruments gleaming under golden lights. Yet as they raised their bows and pressed their keys, discord filled the air. Each musician played with passion, but their combined efforts created chaos rather than beauty. The audience shifted uncomfortably, sensing something amiss in the cacophony of sounds. Then, through the great doors walked Marcus, a conductor known throughout the land for his ability to transform struggling ensembles into vessels of pure harmony. Without a word, he approached each musician, producing a simple tuning fork from his pocket. As he struck it, a pure note rang out, the universal tone that exists at the heart of all music. One by one, Marcus guided each instrument into alignment with this fundamental frequency. When the last string was tuned, he raised his baton, and the transformation was immediate. The music that poured forth touched every heart in the hall, drawing people from the streets outside who felt inexplicably drawn to its magnetic resonance. You too are both conductor and instrument in the symphony of wealth. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are the strings that must be brought into perfect harmony with the frequency of fortune. When even one string vibrates out of tune, the entire melody of abundance becomes distorted. Just as each instrument required precise adjustment, your path to prosperity demands careful calibration. The universal laws of wealth respond only to perfect resonance. There is no room for discord in the quantum field of abundance. In the mountains of an ancient land lived a monk who tended to a magnificent bell. Travelers came from far and wide, having heard tales of its legendary tone, a sound so pure it could awaken the sleeping soul to its true potential. Yet many who tried to ring it produced only hollow thuds. One day a child approached the bell. The monk watched as she studied its surface, running her small hand along the metallic curve. With surprising wisdom, she struck the bell at precisely the right angle, with exactly the right force. The tone that emerged was pure magic, resonating with the very frequency of creation. Find a quiet space and center yourself. Identify one thought that requires tuning, Perhaps money is scarce becomes abundance flows freely through my life. Choose one action to adjust. Maybe rushing anxiously through financial decisions transforms into moving with deliberate confidence. Select one emotion to refine. Transmute worry about money into trust in the universal flow. Each morning, strike these 3 notes with conscious intention, tuning your personal symphony to the frequency of fortune. Let your adjusted thought, refined action, and elevated emotion ring out in perfect harmony with the universal tone of abundance. Chapter 14. The Alchemy of Action. In the forgotten mountains of Tibet, where ancient secrets whisper through temple halls, lived an apprentice alchemist named Kai. Day and night, he pored over yellowed scrolls, memorizing sacred formulas passed down through generations. His fingers traced intricate symbols. His mind absorbed esoteric wisdom. Yet despite years of study, the precious metal eluded him. Frustrated after another failed attempt, Kai approached his master. "I know every formula, every incantation. Why can I not create gold?" His master smiled, retrieving a simple wooden box from a high shelf. Opening it revealed nothing but empty space. "The final ingredient is action," the master said. "Knowledge without movement is like this box, perfectly crafted, but holding nothing." Understanding dawned in Kai's eyes. The next morning, instead of reaching for another scroll, he stood before his workbench. His hands, guided by years of knowledge, finally moved with purpose. As the sun set that evening, golden light reflected off the small but perfect nugget before him. You too possess knowledge of the universal laws. These teachings flow through your consciousness, but without movement, they remain theoretical, spiritual gold waiting to be made manifest. Action is the sacred bridge between the ethereal and material realms, the alchemical process that transmutes possibility into reality. Yet not all action carries the same power. Random movement, like scattered thoughts, disperses energy. Aligned action, movement that springs from inner knowing, concentrates power into quantum manifestation. Along the shores of an ancient sea lived Ibrahim, a fisherman known for his unusual methods. While others cast their nets at any opportunity, Ibrahim would sit motionless, watching the waves with patient eyes. Many mocked his stillness, but Ibrahim knew what others did not. The perfect wave carried a distinct signature. One dawn, as other boats bobbed aimlessly on the waters, Ibrahim's eyes sparked with recognition. In one fluid motion, he cast his net into the sea. The catch that followed was so abundant that his boat nearly capsized, and those who had doubted him now sought to understand his wisdom. Find a quiet moment and bring to mind one inspired action you have been holding back from taking. Feel its energy calling to you, like Ibrahim's perfect wave. Write this action in your journal, then commit to executing it within the next revolution of the sun. Record what unfolds when you finally bridge the gap between knowing and doing. This is your moment of alchemical transformation. Chapter 15. Timeline. Hopping to Abundance. In the depths of an ancient forest where shadows dance with whispers of forgotten wisdom, a weary traveler named Marcus wandered through twisted paths. Lost and disoriented, he stumbled upon a peculiar sight, an archway of light shimmering between 2 ancient oaks, its edges rippling like water in moonlight. Without thinking, Marcus stepped through. In an instant, the dense forest transformed into a sun-drenched valley abundant with fruit trees, crystal-clear streams, and fields of golden grain. He had crossed what the ancients called a time gate, a threshold between parallel paths of existence. You stand before such a gateway in every moment of your life. Each choice, each thought, each vibration you emit opens doorways to different versions of your reality. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, maintains countless parallel paths where different versions of you exist, some dwelling in scarcity, others basking in abundance. The quantum field holds all possibilities simultaneously. Your consciousness is the key that unlocks specific timelines, drawing you into realities that match your energetic signature. When you shift your thoughts and emotions to align with wealth, you naturally step through invisible doorways into timelines where prosperity flows freely. In the bustling markets of ancient Damascus, a merchant named Hassan faced two identical doors. Above one hung a sign reading, "Path of Struggle." Above the other, "Path of Success." Day after day, Hassan chose the door of struggle, believing he was destined for hardship. What he failed to realize was that both doors led to the same room. His perception determined what he found inside. The secret lies not in the door you choose, but in who you become as you walk through it. Each moment offers an opportunity to step into a new timeline where wealth already exists. This is not mere visualization, it is quantum navigation through the infinite possibilities that surround you. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed and open your journal with reverence. Write a detailed description of the version of yourself who already experiences unlimited abundance in all forms, material, spiritual, and emotional. Include how this version thinks, feels, and moves through the world with grace and certainty. Notice how they carry themselves, how they speak, how they respond to both challenges and opportunities. Describe their daily rituals, their relationships, their deepest beliefs about what is possible. Tomorrow, from the moment the sun first touches the horizon until it bids farewell to the day, embody this version completely. Let every decision, every interaction, every breath flow from this abundant self. Watch how your posture naturally straightens, how your voice carries new authority, how opportunities seem to arise effortlessly before you. You are not pretending or playing a role. You are simply stepping into a timeline that already exists, claiming the prosperity that has always been yours. This is the art of quantum navigation, of choosing which self to be in each precious moment. Chapter 16, The Magnetic Power of Feeling. High in the mist-shrouded mountains, where ancient wisdom still echoes through valleys untouched by time, lived a hermit named Zhen. In his daily wanderings, he carried a peculiar magnet, a stone that seemed to whisper to the very essence of metal. As he walked the mountain paths, iron coins would mysteriously emerge from hidden places, drawn to him as moths to flame. At first, Zhen believed it was the magnet's power alone that drew wealth to him. Yet one morning, as joy filled his heart at the sight of a sunrise, he noticed the coins came faster, pulled by an unseen force far stronger than his magnetic stone. In that moment of clarity, he understood his feelings were the true magnet. You possess this same magnetic force within you. Your emotions radiate a frequency far more powerful than any thought or intention. When you attune your heart to the vibration of abundance, you become like Zhen's magnet, naturally drawing prosperity toward you. The quantum field responds not to what you think, but to what you feel. Your emotions create ripples in this invisible sea of potential, attracting experiences that match their frequency. Joy, gratitude, and unwavering certainty are the strongest magnetic forces in the universe. In a valley not far from where Zhen lived, there dwelt a woman named Maya, who tended the wildflowers. Those who watched her work witnessed something extraordinary. Wherever her gaze fell, accompanied by her smile of pure delight, Flowers would burst into bloom before their eyes. The villagers called it magic, but Maya knew the truth. Her joy was simply calling forth what already existed within each bud. Like Maya's flowers, your prosperity already exists in potential form, waiting for the warmth of your positive emotions to draw it into manifestation. When you infuse your being with the feelings of abundance, you activate this natural law of attraction. Set aside 10 minutes each morning. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and recall a moment when you felt completely abundant. Perhaps when receiving an unexpected gift or experiencing deep gratitude. Let this feeling fill your entire body. Notice how abundance feels in your chest, your stomach, your fingertips. Allow this sensation to grow stronger, as if you're turning up the dial on a radio frequency. Hold this vibration, knowing that like Jen's magnet, you are drawing wealth toward you through the power of your emotions. Chapter 17. The Wealth Paradox. In a garden where wisdom blooms eternal, there lived a man named Soren, who spent his days pursuing the most magnificent butterfly he had ever seen. Its wings shimmered with patterns of gold and silver, catching the light like precious gems. Day after day, Soren chased this ethereal creature, his net always missing by mere inches, his hands grasping only empty air. Exhausted from his pursuit, Soren finally sat beneath an ancient oak tree, surrendering to stillness. In that moment of perfect peace, the butterfly he had chased so desperately alighted upon his shoulder, its wings gently brushing his cheek. You see, wealth behaves much like Soren's butterfly. The harder you chase it, the more swiftly it eludes your grasp. This is the wealth paradox, a truth known to the wisest of souls throughout the ages. When you release the desperate need to acquire riches, when you cease the endless pursuit, abundance naturally flows to you. In the realm of manifestation, attachment becomes a chain that binds, while detachment becomes a bridge that connects. Your desperate pursuit of wealth sends ripples of lack through the quantum field, creating the very scarcity you seek to avoid. In the ancient kingdom of Lunara, there lived a king who believed his crown lacked splendor. He dispatched his most skilled soldiers across the land to find the rarest gem in existence. For years they searched, returning empty-handed. One day, as the king gazed at his reflection in a still pool, he saw what had been there all along. The legendary gem sat at the very center of his crown, hidden in plain sight. Like this king, you already possess the wealth you seek. Your attachment to finding it elsewhere blinds you to the abundance that surrounds you now, obscuring the infinite possibilities that dance before your eyes. Release the chase, for it only leads you further from your treasure. Let go of the desperate search that clouds your vision and drains your spirit. Instead, become still and allow wealth to reveal itself naturally, like morning dew appearing on petals at dawn. In the silence of surrender, you will discover that prosperity has always dwelled within you, waiting patiently for your recognition. Take a moment now to sit in silence. Notice where in your life you have been chasing wealth like Soren's butterfly. Write down these areas of pursuit. Then, create this simple mantra: I release the chase and allow abundance to flow naturally to me. Repeat this mantra whenever you feel the urge to pursue wealth from a place of desperation. Remember, like the butterfly that landed on Soren's shoulder, true abundance comes not from the chase but from the stillness of being. Chapter 18. The Circle of Giving and Receiving. In the mist-shrouded mountains of the east lived a monk named Kai, who owned nothing but a simple robe and his daily bread. One morning, a weary traveler appeared at his door, exhausted and hungry from the journey. Without hesitation, Kai offered his only loaf of bread, knowing it meant he would have nothing to eat that day. As you discover the deeper mysteries of abundance, understand that this simple act holds the key to unlocking the flow of universal wealth. For when Kai awoke the next morning, he found his humble dwelling surrounded by villagers, each bearing dishes of food, creating a feast greater than any he had known before. The universe operates through sacred circles of giving and receiving. Like the breath that flows in and out, wealth must circulate to maintain its vital force. When you grasp too tightly, you restrict this natural flow. When you give with an open heart, you activate the quantum field of reciprocity. In the ancient marketplace of Alamara, there lived a merchant named Hassan, who discovered this truth through an extraordinary experience. Each morning, he would give one gold coin to someone in need. At first, his fellow merchants called him foolish, warning that he would soon be destitute. But Hassan noticed something remarkable. Every coin he gave away seemed to multiply, returning to him through unexpected sales, generous customers, and fortunate opportunities. The law of reciprocity operates beyond mere physical exchange. When you give, you send ripples through the quantum field, creating waves of abundance that must return to their source. This is not magic, but rather the natural order of the universe expressing itself through the circulation of energy. To align yourself with this sacred principle, choose something meaningful to give today. It need not be money. It could be time, attention, knowledge, or support. What matters is the spirit in which you give. Release it completely without expectation of return, trusting in the perfect timing of the universe's response. Take your journal and write about the energy you feel in the moment of giving. Notice how your heart opens, how your spirit lifts, how the very air around you seems charged with possibility. This sensation is the quantum field responding to your alignment with universal law. Through this practice, you become a conscious participant in the eternal dance of giving and receiving, joining countless others who have discovered this timeless truth. As you cultivate this awareness, you'll find yourself naturally drawn into an ever-expanding spiral of abundance, where each act of giving creates new channels for receiving. Chapter 19. The Master Key to Wealth. In a city of ancient stone and weathered bronze, there lived a locksmith named Ibrahim, whose hands had crafted 1,000 keys. Each morning, he would rise before dawn, seeking the secret of what he called the Master Key, a mythical tool said to unlock any door in existence. For 40 years, Ibrahim journeyed across distant lands, studying with master craftsmen, examining rare metals, and testing countless combinations. His collection of keys grew until his workshop overflowed with brass and iron, yet still the perfect key eluded him. You hold within yourself a power far greater than any physical key. Like Ibrahim, you may search the world for the secret to unlocking abundance, yet the truth waits patiently in your own pocket. The master key of wealth is not forged in metal, but in the unwavering knowledge of your inherent worthiness. When you truly understand this, every door of opportunity swings open before you. Your belief in yourself becomes the skeleton key that fits every lock in the universe. In a village not far from Ibrahim's workshop, a young girl named Lily discovered a magnificent chest in her grandmother's attic. For days, she attempted to open it, believing it must contain precious treasures. She tried every key she could find, growing increasingly frustrated. One afternoon, her grandmother smiled and suggested she simply lift the lid. To Lily's amazement, the chest had never been locked at all. This simple truth mirrors your journey with wealth. The barriers you perceive are often illusions created by doubt. The treasure chest of abundance stands before you, waiting only for you to recognize that it has always been yours to open. To unlock this ancient wisdom within yourself, create your personal key of belief. Take a moment now to sit in silence. Ask yourself, what one belief, if I held it completely true, would unlock all doors before me? Write this belief in your journal. Transform this belief into a daily affirmation, speaking it aloud each morning as you would turn a key. Let these sacred words become the master key that opens every door on your path to prosperity. Feel their power resonating through your being with each utterance, knowing that as you declare them with conviction, the very fabric of the universe begins to shift in harmony with your intentions. Like the ancient sages who understood the creative force of the spoken word, you too shall witness the magnificent unfolding of abundance as your affirmation shapes the reality before you. Chapter 20. Quantum Rituals for Wealth Alignment. In the mystic lands of the East, where mountains touch clouds and wisdom flows like rivers, there lived a sage named Adira who understood the sacred language of abundance. Each morning, as the first rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, she would perform what villagers called the ritual of gold. Standing barefoot on the earth, Adira would raise her arms to the rising sun, her fingers spread wide like branches reaching for light. With each breath, she drew in the golden energy of dawn, filling her being with its radiance. As she moved through her ritual, copper coins would mysteriously appear at her feet, and opportunities would unfold before her like lotus blossoms. You too possess this ability to commune with the forces of abundance. Through sacred ritual, you align yourself with the universal flow of prosperity, opening channels through which wealth naturally flows. A ritual is more than mere routine. It is a bridge between the seen and unseen realms. When you perform actions with sacred intent, you create an energetic signature that the universe recognizes and responds to. Your ritual becomes a quantum beacon, broadcasting your readiness to receive. The power of ritual lies not in its complexity but in its consistency. Like Adira, you must attune yourself to the rhythms of abundance through daily practice. Each gesture, each breath, each word of gratitude creates ripples in the field of infinite possibility. Think of your ritual as a daily appointment with abundance itself. Through this sacred practice, you declare your worthiness to receive and your alignment with prosperity's flow. Now you are invited to create your own ritual of abundance. Find a quiet moment at the start of each day, perhaps as the sun rises or in the peaceful stillness of dawn. Begin by standing or sitting in a place where you feel connected to the earth beneath you and the vast sky above. Take 3 deep breaths, imagining each inhale drawing golden light into your being. With each exhale, release any resistance to receiving abundance. Place your hands over your heart and speak words of gratitude for the wealth already present in your life. Move your arms in a gathering motion, as if drawing abundance toward you from all directions. Feel the energy of prosperity flowing through your body, filling every cell with its golden light. Complete your ritual by stating, I am one with the infinite flow of abundance. All that I need comes to me easily and naturally. This sacred practice, performed with devotion each day, will align your energy with the frequency of wealth and open channels through which prosperity flows freely into your life. Like Adira's ritual of gold, your daily practice becomes a powerful act of communion with the universal forces of abundance. As you dedicate yourself to this spiritual work, you create an unshakable foundation of faith, drawing forth the infinite riches that already exist in the cosmic treasury. Your ritual becomes a bridge between the seen and unseen realms, connecting you to the eternal source of all wealth and blessing. Part 3. Embodiment of Quantum Wealth. Chapter 21. The Vault of Infinite Wealth. In the mists of a forgotten mountain range, Where ancient wisdom lay hidden in stone, there lived a wanderer named Zephyr. Each dawn he would climb the worn steps of an abandoned temple, drawn by whispers of a mysterious vault that lay beneath its foundations. For years, Zephyr searched every corner of the temple, running his fingers along weathered walls, seeking a keyhole, a lever, or any sign of entry. He collected keys from distant lands, tried countless combinations, yet the vault remained sealed, its secrets untouched. One night, as he sat in meditation before the vault's entrance, an old sage appeared. Without speaking, the sage began to hum a single, pure note. The sound seemed to ripple through the air, and before Zephyr's astonished eyes, the vault opened effortlessly. You, like Zephyr, stand before your own infinite vault of abundance. This sacred chamber holds all the wealth you seek, yet it cannot be forced open with physical effort alone. The universe responds not to pushing or pulling, but to the subtle vibration you emit. Within the quantum field lies an endless stream of prosperity, waiting to flow into your experience. When you align your energy with the frequency of abundance, you unlock this infinite source naturally, without strain or struggle. Consider the tale of Marcus, a merchant in a bustling port city. Day after day, he pulled levers and turned wheels, attempting to force wealth into his life through sheer determination. His shoulders grew weary, his spirit heavy, yet prosperity remained elusive. Only when he learned to still his frantic energy and align with the natural flow of abundance did his fortunes begin to shift. Now you are invited to unlock your own infinite vault through the sacred practice of vibrational alignment. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing before a magnificent vault, its surface gleaming with ancient symbols of prosperity. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your body to relax completely. Begin to generate a feeling of absolute abundance within your heart. Let this feeling grow until it becomes a gentle hum throughout your being. This is your unique vibration of wealth, the key that unlocks your infinite vault. As you maintain this vibration, visualize the vault responding to your energy, its ancient doors opening effortlessly before you. Feel the endless stream of abundance flowing freely into your life, first as a gentle trickle, then as a magnificent river of golden light. The very air around you begins to shimmer with possibility. Hold this vision for several minutes, allowing yourself to be fully immersed in this sacred moment. Know with absolute certainty that as you align with this frequency of limitless prosperity, you activate the natural law of abundance that has existed since the dawn of time. The universe itself conspires to match your vibration, setting in motion the cosmic forces that will manifest your desires into physical form. Chapter 22. The Wealth Archetypes. In an ancient chamber carved from living crystal and lit by flames that cast dancing shadows on walls adorned with sacred symbols, 4 figures gathered around a circular table of polished stone. Each represented a timeless path to abundance. Each held wisdom passed down through countless generations. The king sat upon his golden throne, embodying the power of authority and command. His presence spoke of leadership, of taking decisive action, and of ruling one's domain with confidence. Wealth flows to those who claim their sovereignty, he declared, holding forth a royal purple cloak that shimmered with golden threads. The sage, wrapped in robes of midnight blue scattered with stars, offered his silver cloak of wisdom. True prosperity comes from understanding the universal laws, he whispered, his eyes reflecting ancient knowledge. When you wear this mantle, you see beyond illusion to the truth of abundance. The merchant stood proudly, his emerald cloak rippling like waves of opportunity. Wealth multiplies through exchange and flow, he proclaimed, extending his garment. When you wear this, you recognize value in all things and create prosperity through circulation. Finally, the giver rose, holding a cloak of pure white light. The greatest wealth comes from giving, she said softly. This mantle teaches that abundance multiplies when shared with others. You who seek the mysteries of prosperity are invited to step into this sacred council. Each archetype offers a distinct path to abundance, a unique frequency of wealth consciousness. In a distant valley there lived a sculptor named Theron, who dreamed of creating the perfect representation of wealth. He carved 4 magnificent statues, each embodying one of these sacred archetypes. As he worked, something remarkable occurred. The king's statue taught him to stand in his power. From the sage, he learned to perceive hidden opportunities. The merchant showed him the art of exchange, while the giver revealed the multiplication of shared abundance. One morning, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, Theron stepped back from his completed work. In that moment of clarity, he realized that each statue reflected an aspect of himself. The power to command, the wisdom to understand, the ability to exchange, and the grace to give, all existed within his own being. Now you are invited to discover which of these sacred mantles resonates most deeply with your spirit. Close your eyes and feel the energy of each archetype. Which calls to you? Which aspects of wealth consciousness do you naturally embody? Which do you yearn to activate? Chapter 23, The Master's Mind. In the mists of dawn, where ancient peaks pierce the clouds, a tale unfolds that speaks to the deepest truths of abundance. A student named Kai embarked upon a journey to the summit of Mount Celestial, where whispers told of a master of wealth who held the secrets of prosperity. For 7 days and 7 nights, Kai climbed through wind and storm, his determination unwavering. At last, he reached a simple temple perched on the mountain's crown, where sat an elderly figure in meditation. "Master," Kai said, bowing deeply, "I have traveled far to learn the secrets of wealth. What must I do to master it?" The master opened his eyes slowly, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Master your mind," he replied, "and wealth will kneel before you." Kai's brow furrowed in confusion. He had expected complex formulas, secret rituals, or magical incantations. The master, reading his thoughts, continued, "You seek wealth out there," he gestured to the vast horizon. "But the vault of abundance lies within your own mind. This truth lies at the heart of all manifestation. Your mind is the master key that unlocks the infinite vault of universal abundance. When you learn to rule your thoughts with the same precision a king rules his kingdom, prosperity flows as naturally as water down a mountain stream. In the marketplace of a distant city lived Wei, a humble chess master who never lost a game. Merchants wagered fortunes against him, yet he remained undefeated. One day, a wealthy trader asked him the secret of his success. "I do not play against my opponents," Wei revealed. "I play against myself. While others focus on moving pieces across the board, I focus on mastering the movements of my mind. In stillness, I find strategy. In clarity, I see victory." Within your mind lie the seeds of every fortune and the roots of every lack. Self-doubt whispers like a thief in the night, stealing your birthright of abundance. Fear stands guard at the door of opportunity, turning away the very prosperity that seeks you. Indecision creates a fog through which the path to wealth cannot be seen. To master wealth, you must first master these mind traps that hold you bound. Like Wei at his chessboard, You must learn to recognize each thought, each doubt, each fear as merely pieces in a greater game. Pieces you have the power to move or remove at will. The practice of mastering your mind requires vigilance and dedication, much like a gardener tending to precious seeds that will one day bear abundant fruit. Take up your mental mastery journal and begin recording the thoughts that arise when you think of wealth, noting every whisper of doubt and every spark of confidence. Examine each one as a chess master studies the board, weighing the potential moves and counter-moves that shape the game of prosperity. Which thoughts serve your prosperity, lifting you toward greater heights of abundance? Which thoughts sabotage your success, anchoring you to old patterns of lack? For each self-defeating thought you discover, craft a more powerful belief to take its place, knowing that this conscious act of transformation aligns you with the infinite abundance of the universe. Let each new thought become a stepping stone on your path to mastery. Chapter 24, The Flow of Limitless Resources. In a distant valley where the earth cracked under a relentless sun, there lived a village that had forgotten the meaning of abundance. For 3 seasons they watched their wells run dry and their crops wither. The villagers gathered each morning to pray for rain, yet their prayers seemed to fall on parched soil. Among them lived a young girl named Maya, who spent her days observing the land with curious eyes. One morning, while others complained of thirst, she noticed something peculiar. A single blade of grass, green and vital, pushing through the dusty ground. Maya knelt and began to dig with her small hands. As she dug deeper, the soil grew damp, until finally, water bubbled up from beneath the earth. "Look," she cried out, "the water has been here all along." The villagers gathered around in amazement. An underground spring had been flowing beneath their feet through all the months of drought. They had been so focused on the dry surface that they never thought to dig deeper. This truth echoes through the chambers of prosperity. Wealth flows eternally, like an underground spring, waiting to be discovered by those who know where to look. You need not create abundance. You need only tap into its existing flow. In the bustling streets of an ancient market town lived Ibrahim, a baker whose ovens never grew cold. While other merchants carefully guarded their goods, Ibrahim shared his bread freely with any who hungered. Some called him foolish, warning that his generosity would lead to ruin. Yet something miraculous occurred. The more bread Ibrahim gave away, the more customers appeared at his door. Farmers brought him the finest wheat, moved by his kindness. Children carried word of his delicious bread to distant neighborhoods. His small bakery became the heart of the community, and prosperity flowed through his doors like a mighty river. The universe operates on the principle of flow. When you clutch wealth tightly, fearing its loss, you create resistance in its natural circulation. Money, like water, must flow to maintain its vitality. Every coin you spend with faith returns multiplied, just as every seed you plant yields many fruits. Your practice now calls you to examine where you have been damming the flow of abundance in your life. Identify one area where fear has caused you to hoard rather than circulate your wealth. Create your flowing wealth ritual. Release money into circulation with complete trust in its return. As you give, feel the joy of participating in the universal flow of abundance. Remember, the spring flows eternal. You need only keep the channel open. Chapter 25, Abundance Beyond Money. In the days of old, there lived a king named Aldrich who possessed more gold than any ruler before him. His vaults stretched deep beneath his castle, filled with countless treasures. Yet each night as he walked through his gilded halls, an inexplicable emptiness echoed through his heart. One evening a wanderer appeared at his gates. Unlike the merchants and nobles who frequently sought audience, This traveler carried nothing but a wooden staff and wore simple robes. "Great king," the wanderer spoke, "you have gathered gold but neglected the true treasures of life." These words pierced Aldrich's heart, for they named the void he could not explain. The wanderer showed him how the birds built their nests not with gold, but with carefully chosen twigs, how children laughed without concern for wealth, and how the sunset painted the sky in colors no treasury could contain. You see, abundance flows through all channels of existence. It manifests not only in the weight of coins, but in the warmth of friendship, the peace of purpose, and the richness of well-being. When you pursue wealth alone, you gather but a single drop from an infinite ocean of abundance. In a distant valley lived Elena, who dedicated her life to searching for gold in an ancient mine. Day after day she dug deeper, following veins of precious metal. One morning, her pickaxe struck something different. Not the soft yellow of gold, but the brilliant clarity of diamonds. The very thing she sought had led her to an even greater treasure, one she never imagined finding. This truth speaks to the mysterious ways abundance manifests in your life. Often, the universe offers gifts far beyond your initial vision. While you focus on financial wealth, life presents opportunities for deep connection, moments of pure joy, and discoveries that transcend material value. Your practice now calls you to create your holistic abundance map. Take a moment to reflect on every dimension of wealth present in your life: the love you share, the health you enjoy, the peace you experience, and the purpose that guides you. Document these treasures, for they are the true measure of your abundance. In recognizing these gifts, you open yourself to an even greater flow of prosperity in all its forms. Chapter 26. The Quantum Money Machine. In a workshop nestled among rolling hills, a young inventor named Marcus labored over his greatest creation, a machine designed to manifest money. Its intricate gears, crafted from the finest metals, sparkled in the lamplight. Yet despite his countless attempts, the machine remained silent. Through endless nights of frustration, Marcus pushed and pulled at the mechanisms, trying to force them into cooperation. But with each forceful attempt, the gears only ground against each other more harshly. Until one morning, as sunlight streamed through his workshop window, he noticed how the rays aligned perfectly with his machine's central axis. In that moment of clarity, Marcus understood alignment could not be forced, only achieved through perfect precision. When he finally adjusted each gear with gentle care, allowing them to find their natural position, the machine hummed to life, producing gold coins with effortless grace. You see, within you exists a quantum money machine, an invisible mechanism that manifests abundance when your thoughts, feelings, and actions align with perfect precision. Like Marcus's invention, this internal machine responds not to force, but to the delicate balance of your inner state. In a village not far from Marcus's workshop lived Sophia, a potter known for her extraordinary vessels. Each day she sat at her wheel, understanding that her clay would only transform into beauty when centered with absolute precision. If the clay strayed even slightly from the wheel's center, her creations would collapse. One day, after countless failed attempts at crafting a particularly challenging piece, Sophia discovered that her success came not from pressing harder, but from finding the perfect point of balance. In that state of alignment, her hands barely needed to move. The clay seemed to shape itself. Just as Sophia's pottery emerged from perfect centeredness, your abundance flows when you align your inner elements with precision. Your thoughts must center on prosperity, your emotions must resonate with wealth, and your actions must flow from this aligned state. Now, you're invited to create your quantum wealth blueprint, Take a quiet moment to list the specific thoughts that align with abundance, the emotions that resonate with prosperity, and the actions that flow from this alignment. This blueprint becomes the sacred geometry of your own quantum money machine, the precise specifications that, when followed, activate the flow of wealth in your life. Chapter 27. Your Abundance Legacy. In the shade of an ancient oak tree, Elder Rashid gathered his grandchildren around him. Their eager faces glowed in the dappled sunlight as he revealed to them a truth passed down through generations. "Look at this tree," he said, gesturing upward at the sprawling branches. "Each autumn, it releases thousands of acorns. Some feed the creatures of the forest, others take root and grow into mighty oaks themselves. The tree does not count its acorns or hoard them. It freely gives them to the world. This is the nature of true wealth." The children listened intently as their grandfather continued. "True wealth is not what you leave behind, but what you awaken in others. Each person you touch with wisdom, kindness, or opportunity becomes a seed of abundance that grows and multiplies long after you are gone." You see, wealth flows not just through material channels, but through the invisible threads that connect all beings. When you awaken abundance in others, through teaching, inspiring, or empowering, you create a living legacy that continues to generate prosperity across generations. In a distant valley lived Ibrahim, a humble gardener who spent his days planting fruit trees. Though many questioned why he planted more trees than he could ever harvest in his lifetime, Ibrahim smiled knowingly. "I plant not for myself," he would say, "but for those who will come after me." Years passed, and Ibrahim's small grove grew into a vast orchard. Long after he departed this world, his trees continued to bear fruit, feeding countless families and providing shade for weary travelers. The seeds from his original trees spread far and wide, creating new orchards across the land. Ibrahim's legacy lived on not in gold or silver, but in the perpetual abundance he had set in motion. This wisdom speaks to the quantum nature of wealth. It multiplies through giving, grows through sharing, and expands through awakening abundance in others. Your true wealth is measured not by what you accumulate, but by what you set in motion. Now take a moment to contemplate your abundance legacy statement. What seeds of prosperity will you plant today that will continue to bear fruit long after you are gone? How will you awaken abundance in others? Write down your vision for the lasting impact you wish to create, not just in terms of material wealth, but in wisdom, opportunity, and empowerment that will ripple through generations to come. Chapter 28. The Merchant and the Hidden Fortune. In ancient times there lived a merchant named Khalil who dreamed of boundless riches. Each dawn he would pack his belongings and venture forth into distant lands, convinced that wealth awaited him beyond the horizon. For years he traversed scorching deserts, scaled treacherous mountains, and sailed stormy seas in pursuit of fortune. Yet with each journey, wealth seemed to slip further from his grasp. One night, exhausted and weathered by his endless quest, Khalil dreamed of his grandmother. In the dream, she smiled and whispered, "The treasure you seek lies beneath your feet." Upon awakening, Khalil returned home for the first time in years. As he began to repair his neglected garden, his shovel struck something solid. Beneath the earth lay a chest filled with precious gems, a fortune that had rested beneath his home all along. You see, like Khalil, you may be searching far and wide for wealth that already exists in your immediate sphere. The fortune you seek is not in some distant land or future time. It resides within and around you now. Consider the tale of Ming, the pearl diver. Each day he would plunge into the deepest waters, believing the most precious pearls must lie in the darkest depths. His hands would grow numb from the cold, his lungs would burn for air, yet still he searched deeper and deeper. One day, as Ming prepared for another dive, he noticed something gleaming in his diving pouch. There, caught in the weave of the fabric, were dozens of perfect pearls that had been collecting over time. While he frantically searched the ocean's depths, wealth had been gathering in his own hands, unnoticed. The truth about wealth reveals itself through these ancient stories. What you seek is closer than you imagine. While you may dream of distant opportunities or future windfalls, abundance already surrounds you in ways you might have overlooked. Take a moment now to pause and reflect. Where have you been chasing wealth in your life? What opportunities for abundance exist right before you? Find a quiet space and contemplate the following. Write down 3 sources of wealth or opportunity that already exist in your current circumstances. These might be skills you possess but haven't fully utilized, relationships that could lead to collaboration, or resources you haven't yet maximized. Remember, like Khalil's buried treasure and Ming's collected pearls, your fortune may already be within your reach. Chapter 29, The Final Secret of Quantum Wealth. In the hidden valleys of the Himalayas, where ancient wisdom still whispers through mountain winds, there lived a sage known for his mastery of abundance. One day, his most devoted student approached him, having mastered all previous teachings about wealth and manifestation. "Master," the student said, "I have learned to attract, to align, to receive. What final secret remains?" The sage smiled mysteriously and replied, "There is one final secret, but it is hidden in plain sight." For years, the student searched. He studied sacred texts, meditated in caves, and sought wisdom from other teachers, yet the secret eluded him. One morning, as he sat watching the sunrise, he noticed how the sun didn't seek light. It was light. In that moment, understanding dawned. To be the source of wealth, not the seeker of it. You see, this revelation holds the deepest truth about abundance. Just as the sun doesn't chase light but emanates it naturally, wealth flows not from external seeking but from internal being. You are not meant to pursue wealth. You are meant to emanate it. Consider the humble candle. In a darkened room, it shares its flame with countless other candles, yet never diminishes its own light. Each time it ignites another, the room grows brighter, yet the original flame remains as strong as ever. This is the nature of true wealth consciousness, to be a source that enriches all while remaining eternally abundant. This understanding transcends all previous teachings about manifestation. When you realize that you are the source of wealth, your entire relationship with abundance transforms. No longer do you chase after prosperity. You allow it to flow through you as naturally as light radiates from the sun. Now take up your pen and paper. Write a letter addressed to yourself that begins, "I am the source of wealth." Let your words flow from this profound truth. Acknowledge that you are not seeking something external but expressing something eternal within you. This letter will serve as your daily reminder for the next 30 days, helping you embody this final secret that has always been hidden in plain sight. Read this letter each morning before you begin your day, allowing its profound truth to illuminate your path like the first rays of dawn. Let these sacred words remind you that, like the eternal flame of a candle, you need not deplete yourself to enrich others, for you are the very source of abundance itself. In this daily ritual of remembrance, you align with the infinite wellspring within, becoming a living testament to the boundless prosperity that flows through all things. Your wealth, like your divine nature, is limitless and ever-present. Chapter 30. Walking as a Master of Wealth. In a distant land where wisdom was valued above gold, there lived a master whose very presence transformed the fortunes of those around him. As he walked into villages, people would whisper, "The wealth bringer has come." Not because he carried riches or promised prosperity, but because abundance seemed to flow naturally in his wake. You see, this master had discovered what few ever realize, that wealth is not something you chase, but something you become. His steps were measured and graceful, his smile serene, his gestures flowing with ease. He moved through the world as though the universe itself supported his every action. And indeed, it did. When villagers asked him to share his secret, he would simply say, "I do not bring wealth. I am wealth itself." This truth lies at the heart of your own journey toward abundance. The master's presence alone shifted the energy of entire villages because he had fully embodied the consciousness of wealth. This state of being transcends mere positive thinking or visualization. It is a complete alignment with the frequency of abundance at every level: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. When you truly embody wealth consciousness, your very presence becomes a catalyst for prosperity, just as the masters did. To become the embodiment of wealth means allowing abundance to express through every cell of your being. It flows through your posture, resonates in your voice, shines through your eyes. You need not speak of prosperity. You become prosperity itself. Now you are invited to step into this mastery through full embodiment. Choose one day to walk as the master of wealth. From the moment you wake, move through your world as though abundance flows through you naturally. Let your steps be purposeful, your gestures graceful, your presence commanding yet serene. Notice how you sit when you embody limitless wealth. Observe how you speak, how you listen, how you interact with others. Allow wealth consciousness to inform every action, every decision, every breath. This is not pretense. It is practice in aligning with your true nature as a being of abundance. For this one day, let go of seeking or striving. Instead, simply be the master of wealth that you already are. Like the master in the village, let your presence alone speak of abundance. This practice will begin to shift not just your energy, but the very field of possibility around you. Conclusion. The wisdom you have uncovered within these pages is not merely knowledge to be stored away, but truth to be lived. As you close this sacred text, understand that you do not leave these teachings behind. They have become part of your very essence. The eternal current of wealth flows through you now as it always has. Yet with your awakened consciousness, you recognize it, feel it, embody it. Like a river that has found its natural course, abundance moves through your life with grace and certainty. You are no longer a seeker of wealth, but wealth itself. This is not a temporary state or fleeting achievement. It is your natural way of being. Each step you take reverberates with this truth. Each breath affirms your alignment with universal abundance. When you enter a room, prosperity enters with you. When you speak, abundance speaks through you. Your very presence, like the master in the village, creates a field of possibility where others may discover their own connection to wealth. Let your shoulders rest easy with this knowing. Allow your spine to straighten with the quiet confidence of one who understands that wealth is not external, but emanates from within. Your eyes now hold the serene gaze of one who sees abundance in every moment. You need not announce your mastery. It speaks through your actions, your choices, your way of moving through the world. Like the master who transformed villages with his presence alone, your embodiment of wealth consciousness naturally uplifts those around you. Walk boldly in this new identity, not with pride or arrogance, but with the humble certainty of one who knows their true nature. You are a master of wealth, not because you sought this title, but because you have remembered who you always were. The eternal current flows on, and you flow with it. Each day brings new opportunities to express this mastery, to embody this truth, to be the wealth that you are. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.